Well, hello there. This is Heather. Um, Thank you so much for the drop of mail. That back and forth was very inspiring and just amazing. You're always just an amazing soul and obviously very uplifting. As I sent you that picture, it just made me laugh because I'm not a television person, and there's only two I watch, and that is as you saw the DVD section, I have all my Frasers and all of my House MDs, and those are it. I don't even watch them on television. I did actually Frasier back in um, 2003. Sorry, 2002, 2003, because um, I was at my parents' house. It was right after my ex beat me, like I told you. Um, and they finally understood and believed me, and I was able to go home, and I stayed with them for a while, and so I had a little girl, and I'd wait till she get to sleep, and so I'd go out there, and I'd sit and I'd watch Frasier in my parents' living room, and I would be able to call who's my husband today, because it's really ironic because he lived in Seattle then. And it's just so funny because I had always, loved the show Frasier, so it just made me laugh that, the person that God ever, threw into my life, through a really close friend I had back in '98. He introduced us down here in Phoenix, and it made me laugh because I'm like, that's like the one show I watched back in the '90s. Reason I didn't even watch TV is because my ex-husband has ADHD so bad, and we were watching Frasier and then Friends, and when he finally couldn't respond to me on Friends, and I'm like, okay, you can watch TV. He can't respond during the show. I'm like, I blew that off. But then when I like a commercial, it was a Windex commercial came up, and he couldn't respond to me during a Windex commercial because he's so engulfed literally into the blue Windex. That was like the end of television for us. And then now for me forever, I never got back into it, except for the shows that I loved so much, and I kept up to date on the DVDs, and that's it. So there you got it there. Anyway, I go in Monday to have my, like I said, brain ripped open. I always have to reword it somewhat differently each time. But it's actually it's not honestly it's not as tragic as it sounds. There are many other things in this world that are harder. And a friend that went in for stomach surgery, she had her celiac, nerve. It was like this part of her stomach was just like engulfed and wrapped around this ligament, and so everything had to be like unwrapped. And so, I mean, just a lot of things just were backed up and not right. And so it was like a 6 hour, tough surgery where they cut you from top to bottom, and it just was awful. And so I mean, that's hard to heal from because it's so much muscle and organs, and there's so much that are not as quickly healable, such as back surgery. Back surgery is tough, and I mean, brain's right through connected down through your spine, and it's really tough. I've had friends go through that, and it's amazing how the brain's just a muscle, and we really don't require all of it. It's amazing how much we really don't require of the 3 pounds of brain that we have, especially when you're an epileptic, because your brain just learns to adapt to the parts that are, inflicted. So, those parts that are just haven't been used, and so when they are taken out, honestly, it's like your brain just gets like relief. And I've always had this really great memory, which is just scary, but when it came down to actually taking it out, oh gosh, my memory even got better. And it's like kind of tough because you just remember like too many things, and sometimes it's not all the best in the world. It's kind of creepy. But I always told my neurologist, make sure the neurosurgeon, he takes out some memory because this is kind of creepy. But so I go in Monday. They cut you open, take the bone out, they put the in-depth electrodes in, and then that goes on for like a week. Then they open me back up, they pull the bone back out, and then they actually do the resection. And so it's just amazing. And we're going to keep everyone up to date. There at the hospital, I told my husband I want, pictures done, because this is like up in, the days of, everything's network and I'm Twitteraholic and you could post pictures and I'm so open and I'm so transparent ever since I found Jesus. It's just like, you can ask me anything and I'm so open. There's never stepping over boundaries with me. I'm very much truthful and there's nothing that I hold back. Um, we're all at fault for something and we all live and learn, and if we don't keep learning, then we just can't keep living and moving on to something better in life. And that's where, Jesus set me straight and told me, hey, Heather, I've got great plans for you. And you just have to hang on and just, learn, from even the hard parts of life. And then so much better is to come. And so many things that do happen in our life really isn't truly to even teach us lessons. It's really and truly to open doors and insight to other people. And, I always pray for that for my family, because they're just very skittish. I grew up not even knowing anything about, Jesus or God or anything but a cuss word in my family. And it took all the hard times for me to understand that, wow, oh my gosh, there's more to life. And not to dwell and, all that. And unfortunately, my family still needs a wake-up call. And sometimes I just, I pray that maybe this next one, I don't know how many brain surgeries I have to go through, um, to awaken, my parents who live down the street and they can't come see me because they are so scared and don't have faith. And that's so sad, because my husband, he came from a family that does have faith, yet he also has fear, anxiousness, because he loves me so much. But he knows Jesus, and so he knows how everything will turn out for his good. And so, I mean, even though he's nervous, he's able to sit there through it all and not hide out. So, those are the amazing differences in life, having faith and not having faith. So, but, I thank you so much for, chit-chatting, and you are just an inspiration to so many, and this is just an amazing network, and I look forward to updating it while I'm there, and obviously, updating, of course, especially when we're back, but, always, feel free to, call, to, message us, um, and I'll forward you, my husband's number as well. And the hospital, I'll be at, if you ever want info, um, is an amazing, amazing hospital, which is Mayo Hospital. The one here is Phoenix, Arizona, and they are just fabulous. Just a wonderful, wonderful place to go. So if you ever, have a bad finger or, any problems, let me know and I can hook you up there, because God knows I have a doctor everywhere there. So many blessings. You're an inspiration and you have such a heart, and I'm just sending you out our love and just blessings to you, and I pray that your weekend's just fabulous, and just always feel free to contact, because we're just very open, and look forward to Monday. I'm just excited. So it'll start, I get there at 8 and it usually starts about an hour after. So look forward, and many blessings your way. God bless you.